there was one time I played, and I think like the majority of other people at the table had all been to jail. And I was like, what is this world that they're the friendliest people? Like, no one is like, you think that, oh, you get all these ideas of like movie underground poker games that are shady, and not really much of that.
Two Bored Apes talking NFTs, DeFi, and some random stuff. Two Bored Apes talking NFTs, DeFi, and some random stuff.
Welcome to episode 84 of Two Bored Apes. I'm your host, Jamie. I'm here with my friend and co-host, Roy. Just as a reminder, this is an NFT podcast. Roy, how are you?
I'm good, Jamie. I got a pipe.
That's good. Why did you get a pipe? That is actually NFT related, is it not?
It is NFT related. So we had Denizens launch this week. The ZenAcademy PFPs finally launched. It's been great. People are loving them. Seeing a lot of people change their PFPs and enjoy the mint experience and revealing them. And one of the traits in the collection is a pipe. Actually, one is a fidget spinner, which I also have here. One is a pipe. And the pipe is one of my favorite traits. And I was on, I think, a Twitter space or a Discord call the other day talking about it. I was talking with Darren from the community, and I was like, the pipes are so cool. I should just get a pipe. How much are pipes? And then I went on Amazon, and they were like $6. And I was like, I'm going to get a pipe. And then 12 hours later, I had a pipe delivered to my door. Beauty of the internet.
The curvature of the mouth part of that one is very aggressive, I find.
This is not a pipe that I imagine I would ever actually use. It's I'm showing it to the camera for the people that are watching on YouTube. But it is, I mean, it looks, I feel like it should be a lot flatter here.
Yes. Yeah, that's a strange shape of a pipe to me. Pipe, there's also that famous painting, right? This is not a pipe. Are you familiar with that one?
I don't think so.
It's a painting of a pipe, and it says, "This is not a pipe." And I guess the idea is that, like,
I have vague recollection
image of a thing is not a thing, you know? It's some sort of, like, philosophical
thing.
This is
not a pipe. The, I think Bodo, that AI project, might have done something around this pipe thing as well. Yeah.
I might have even minted them.
I might have minted them too.
Or I think I missed it, but I do remember that being a thing.
Yeah. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Doing well. I've got my fidget spinner, got my pipe. Could not be, that'd be better. It's been a good week.
Tell me about Stellaris, Roy.
Stellaris.
Or hold on a second. Do you want to do the news of the week and cover some NFT stuff before we get completely sidetracked with video game talk?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do...
Okay. News of the week.
Look at us. I think this is 2 weeks in a row now we've done a news of the week segment.
Where we've covered vaguely NFT and crypto stuff. So what do we have to talk about? We can talk about your denizens a little bit. That doesn't count as news of the week, though, because it's not as big of a thing. It's more personal. But the biggest thing that we saw, I think, was the Grayscale case against the SEC. Grayscale is a company that does ETFs and trusts and stuff like that. And they have a Bitcoin trust and they have an Ether trust, and I think maybe Litecoin as well. And they wanted to have ETFs, which is a little bit different. We don't need to get into the technical details of how they're different because it's not that interesting. But basically, the SEC was not approving them of that, even though they were approving others of essentially the same product, and also were not giving any sort of realistic reason for why they would approve the others and not approve Grayscale's application. Grayscale took them to court and won, and the judge basically said, like one of the biggest things of being a federal agency is you need to treat like cases alike, and you did not do that.
It was a great day for crypto at large. I think a sensible decision from the courts. The market responded positively. Prices went up like 7%. Yeah, good to see. Am I remembering correctly? Do you own some Grayscale, some Ether?
Yeah, in my retirement account, I have some of both of the trusts, and they have done very poorly for me.
Well, give it 10 years, 20 years.
But it was sort of a thing, as I recall, that it was largely like I had some Ether that I had to sell in real life, but I also didn't want to lower my Ether exposure, so I bought some of the trust. But the problem is, for various reasons, because there's 2% annual fee, which is a lot,
especially for just Ether,
right? And and then, the market's interpretation of what that means and preference for a pure ETF and stuff like that. It hasn't actually tracked. So even though Ether and Bitcoin prices have not done well since I bought, the trusts have done even worse, which is a bummer. But
kind of crazy.
Yeah. Not that crazy. I mean, there's a 2% fee. That's crazy per year. Just 2% right off the top.
That is crazy.
For just owning a thing that I also self-custody and own and pay 0%.
Yeah. The inefficiencies.
But to have that in my retirement account where there's no tax until I'm 59 and a half or whatever, there's reasons.
There's another big SEC thing this week. They essentially charged Impact Theory with selling unregistered securities. And
yeah, so Roy said this to me before we started recording. I don't remember Impact Theory. Was it a big one? Do you remember it? What was it?
Definitely. So we even ZenAcademy, we partnered with Impact Theory, I think earlier this year or late last year. So Impact Theory is a community launched by Tom Bilyeu, if you're familiar with him. He, I think, built and sold his company Quest Nutrition or something for like $500 million or something big. I believe that was him. There you go. I
actually quite liked him.
Yeah. And
I don't like the protein bars, but those chips are pretty fucking good.
There you go. I hope I'm getting the company right. I'm pretty sure it's that one. And has like a pretty significant online presence now. He does like podcasts and has great people on and conversations with, everyone. And decided to, like, he creates a lot of courses with everyone. Anyway, he sold these keys, these Impact Theory keys that gave you access to the community and courses, and they're building a game and all sorts of stuff. Pretty big. I think they raised like $30 million in 2021. And yeah, basically that they were fined by the SEC and they settled for $6.1 million, basically.
Did you look into the case enough to know like what specifically the SEC said pushed them over the line that basically didn't push other collections over the line?
I looked into it a little bit. I don't remember all the specifics, but basically a lot of the stuff is applicable to other projects, which is scary for others. But like importantly, there was like a dissenting opinion in the decision. So like this wasn't like a unanimous decision from the SEC. Someone in the part of the decision-making process were like, yo, what the hell? This doesn't make sense. If you're going after them, you should be going after all these other people, including...
You have to treat like cases alike.
There you go. Including non-crypto sort of people as well. Because like what they were doing was selling a product or an asset that gave you access to courses and weren't really promising any sort of future investment value. And like Tom was very intentional from day one about being pretty mindful about not making it a security and an investment, but clearly a couple of people or enough people at the SEC thought otherwise and came to this decision. And yeah, basically one of the things that Impact Theory had done previously was offer everyone in their community refunds. I think they'd done it once or twice. I don't remember exactly why, but part of the dissenting view was like, why are we going after them when they gave people the opportunity to refund their product and stuff like that, which again there's so many other cases that they could go after, but because of probably Tom is high profile and yada yada yada, and they could make a few $1,000,000, I guess they thought, let's go after them. But I would be worried for so many of those projects that launched in 2021 and were like, hey, passive income and all this other kind of stuff that was very clearly security. But yeah, that big news this week, and I think Impact Theory handled it well. Seems to be doing all right. Had enough money to take the $6 million whatever on the chin and march forward. And I think they have again offered refunds. So like if you're part of the community and you're not happy at this point, you can get your money back and they'll carry on from here. What are you smirking at?
I just looked at my fingernails and they're kind of long, so I've decided in the middle of the podcast to trim my fingernails.
No, 80. Jamie, 80.
80?
I was saying ADHD. I was going to say something about ADHD and I just called you 80. But anyway. You sold some NFTs this week.
I sold a few NFTs this week. That's true. I sold the Bubble Blobby today. I sold... Actually, yeah, one of them was quite interesting if the person's OpenSea account is to be believed. Let me see if I can find it. Fermenti. I had a Fermenti, number 376. a collection that I don't love, but I did like my particular one of it, and I've had it for literally years. And I got a bid on it that was like good, relatively speaking. You know, people are put a lot of stinker bids out there, but this one was pretty close to what I had it listed for, pretty close to the floor. And when I clicked on who made the bid, it said it was the Tianjin Museum of Digital Arts OTC trading account. Tianjin being, depending on how you measure things, about the 10th most populous country in the world. And I was like, that's actually quite cool. And I accepted the bid. So now, assuming that they're telling the truth, I think that's the first piece that I've sold to a museum. But why? That's a weird lie to make for an OpenSea account.
Especially if you're making like bids like that aren't stinker bids. Like I can understand some scammer going, hey, we'll pretend to be a museum and put really low ball bids in.
Right.
But,
and I also Googled Tianjin Museum of Digital Art. It appears to be a thing. It's new. Obviously, there's not many old museums of digital art, right? So I thought that was kind of interesting. I think I sold one other NFT this week besides those two that I can't remember. But yeah, that, I don't know. That was interesting to me.
Yeah, it's noteworthy. Yeah, well, I guess I'll talk about Denizens a bit because that's been a while coming.
Cosmic Reef, sorry. I also sold the Cosmic Reef. That was the third one. Go ahead and talk about Denizens.
Our launch was about 48 hours ago, or from the time of recording, so Tuesday this week. We've had about 1,500 minted in the last couple of days. People have been burning their Zen chests.
What is the total number that can be?
The total max is 10K, but realistically, I think we'll probably get to around 4K in the next several weeks, just based on how many people have burned their letters for the chests and the inactivity of the market as a whole, and also some people's preference to keep the chest because then it's like an unopened pack type deal that has that mystery element. Yada yada yada.
Potential to be. Is it? Here's a question: is there any one of ones in there?
There are 33 101s. 33.
Well, I minted my 3 today, and I did not get one of them. That was disappointing.
We have had a.
I'm going to talk to SEC about this.
The people minting have been running hot for the 101s. We've had 1,500 minted, and 10 of the 33 101s have come out, which is
that's pretty above average.
Decently above average, yeah. But yeah, I mean, pretty much universally, people seem to like the collection, which is great. Big sigh of relief, and now it's about focusing on sort of building out the community further and further. How you doing with the nails there?
Good, I just finished.
Now, do you still cut your nails with a knife?
Well, I cut it with my Swiss Army knife, but I cut it with the scissor attachment on it. See, my this is good stuff, by the way. When you use so fingernails are curved, right? But when you do the classic nail clippers, it wants to flatten it out, and that to me is unpleasant and unintuitive. Whereas with the mini scissors, I can go along the natural curve of the nail as I cut, and then I'm not like pressing a curved piece of my body into an unnatural and painful flat position. Is anybody with me on this?
No, I don't find it painful when I cut my nails. Right,
it's curved, right?
I think Rachel just laughed at you.
But if you just are gonna press it down into a flatness, at the point when it's the most down, it's like a little uncomfortable. Painful is maybe a lot, but uncomfortable in a way that it absolutely.
You don't just go straight to the middle. You like clip the side, and then you do like 4 or 5 clips to get a finger done.
Yeah, so that's what I do with this. I guess I'm doing the same thing. So, but why do we need nail clippers then? And why are they shaped the way that they are? This is a better tool for it. Final answer.
Okay. I can see.
Roy was just speechless there. He just looked down and he was
will to argue this point. All right. Let's. Any other NFT nonsense to chat about? Stellaris. So, for those who don't know, Stellaris is a video game that is of the 4X variety. I think we spoke about this previously. Civ 6 and the expand.
We've definitely talked about Civilization before.
Yeah. And basically, Stellaris is... So Civilization is complex. It had a pretty steep learning curve. But once you get the hang of it, it's not that difficult. I feel like Stellaris is in like a order of magnitude more complex. There's like a bunch of games like EU4, Crusader Kings that are like way more complex. And like the level of detail and everything is just ramped up a notch. Stellaris is like that. and it is set in space. It is like a sci-fi building, world building, civilization building, conquering type of game, 4X. And I started playing it.
It takes place 200 years in the future, from what I was reading.
Correct. It starts in the year 2200, and I think it runs till the year 2500, at which point either the game ends before then because of you dominate the entire galaxy, or whoever's ahead at that point wins, I think, is something like that.
And you have started playing. I just purchased it, and I have not started playing yet, but Steam's got a big sale on strategy games right now, and this is one I've been looking at for a while. It turned out you had already bought it, you found out.
I bought it like 3 years ago. I think I bought a bundle or something. Yeah.
Right.
And it's fun. It is incredibly complex, and as you'd expect, very nuanced. But it's enjoyable having a civilization, an empire that's galactic, and like going and exploring other star systems and finding anomalies and having first contact with alien races and figuring out how to colonize a new planet. I have a starbase. I think you start with a starbase, but I've built starbases in other systems. Yeah.
You put them elsewhere as well?
I have, yeah.
Nice.
So in order to colonize another star system, basically, you start off, at least, you get to choose which sort of empire or race you want to be. I chose humans, which is the recommended one for beginners. So you start off in our own, in Sol, in our own solar system, around our sun with Earth, and then the solar system is kind of colonized already. You have a star system, you have some mining of asteroids and like moons and stuff like that.
Kuiper Belt?
I don't know if that's involved. Maybe not.
I think that's where most of the asteroids in our solar system are.
Yeah.
I don't really know, to be honest.
But in order to colonize another solar system, first you have to send a science ship there to observe it, and then you have to survey it, which means it goes and it checks all the celestial bodies in that system. So it goes and surveys the star, any planets, any moons, just to check it out and give you an idea of like what's here, any threats, and any alien life forms. Then you have to build a star base in that system, and then I believe you can colonize a planet. And so, what are you smirking at again?
I'm just thinking how incredibly boring this could be potentially to people that don't give a shit about video games. Never mind space.
Yeah, but we're talking about colonizing other planets in the solar, like in the galaxy, in the universe. That's interesting to everyone.
Yeah, but you're also talking about like fictitiously doing it in a video game, so it seems very possible for this to just be the most boring thing possible. Although, actually, I have heard that when we played chess on air, that was literally the most boring thing any of our listeners had ever heard.
Silent for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we just played a game of chess
and then
silently.
It was like, good move.
And it was also, not only did we do that, but even the video people, we weren't sharing our screen, so you couldn't even see the game, even if you had the image to go along with it. I mean, just the most boring content possible.
Yeah, we've stuck true to our roots.
Yeah, speaking of boring content, I just did a lot of pruning of my tomato plants in the garden because I have a ton of green tomatoes, but they are not ripening quick enough. So I needed to do something in order to speed that up. And I believe if you get rid of a lot of the leafy growth and get more sun on them and have less of the plant's energy go into just getting bigger, should hopefully get them. Because I only have about a month and a half before we should have our first frost here.
I was going to say,
which will kill the plants.
It's like the end of summer's coming to an end already.
Yeah, October 15th is the average first frost date in my zone.
What kind of tomatoes are you growing?
I have a black cherry, I have an Azorian beefsteak, and I have a sun gold cherry. So I got three types of tomatoes.
Yeah.
I quite like these Azorian beefsteaks as well.
How big do they get?
How big do they
how large
get?
Do they get?
I would say like big tomato sized. It's not enormous, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's like
it's not
bigger
like
than
in
a
The
plum
Simpsons
tomato.
when Lisa grew that one.
The
that was like no, not even the tomatoes. Like in one of the first seasons, she for like a science fair project, she builds she grows one that's like bigger than the size of a pumpkin, and Bart ends up like throwing it.
I remember the tomatoes for sure, but I don't remember Lisa growing a huge tomato. No, but to answer your question more realistically, I would say like if you made a fist, that would be one of the biggest ones that I'll be able to pull off the plant.
Yeah.
And then slightly smaller than that, like if we got rid of one of your fingers or something and you made a fist with that would be like an average one of the Azorian ones.
Cool. How good is gardening? Gardening's great.
I love it. My kale plants are doing fantastic.
What do
So
you do with
much
the kale?
So I make Portuguese kale soup and I make kale chips. Those are the two main things I do. I'll make big batches of kale soup, freeze some, give some to friends and relatives, eat some, and then make kale chips probably 4 times a week or something.
Nice. Yeah, I
And
made
it's
kale
still,
chips a few weeks
we
back.
still have just so fucking much extra.
Yeah.
We don't have the freezer space to make, I could make tons and tons of the soup, but we don't have the freezer space for it. So I don't know
thought
what
about
to
getting
do.
like another freezer, put it in the basement? Like,
I think Kayla would probably revolt if I tried to do something like that.
Oh, here's something to talk about. I'm going to be visiting you in a few weeks. And I was asking, are you around? Can I stay in your spare room? Is it okay? Yada, yada. And basically you're like, yes, the wild card is Toby. He might literally kill you.
Right. Yeah, so we got a dog during 2019. So we got a dog that was surrendered to the shelter because he was too much for the parents. So we got a puppy that was poorly trained, and then COVID hit, so he was not able to be socialized with humans or animals, and so he's just a very difficult dog. And it's the other thing is my wife loves big dogs, so he's a Saint Bernard. So he's basically as poorly behaved as like most people's dogs, to be honest.
Yeah.
But the barking and nipping and jumping up on you that tiny dogs do is not the same thing as when a fucking Saint Bernard is doing it. So it's a bigger issue. And so you got to warn people if they're interested in coming over.
Yeah.
You can, but my dog is a lot.
I'm going to win him over. I'm going to win him.
No, he mostly likes people, but he's just occasionally not sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
and you're going to Marfa before that. That'll be fun.
That's going to be so
Is
much
this your
fun.
first or third or second
First time.
trip?
Like I
Marfa.
booked an Airbnb at Marfa 3 years in a row, but I didn't go the first year. The first year, mutual friends ended up taking that one. The second year, I don't know what happened to it. I think another friend or took it over, or I just cancelled it. And then this year, because as soon as the dates open up, it's like you got to book something, otherwise the whole town runs out.
Yeah, because it's not a big enough town to like deal with all that demand really and have excess.
Basically, every single time I go to book, like pretty much as soon as I see the announcement, all the hotel rooms and stuff are already gone. It's like Airbnb is your only option at that point, other than like camping or getting a trailer or something like that.
Art Block should make like an Art Blocks themed hotel. Get their own fucking thing going.
That would be amazing.
It's a great business idea.
I don't think it is.
It's a pain in the ass to get to, though, right? It's like in the middle of nowhere. You have to fly to a place, to fly to another place, to drive to a place.
Yeah, it's 3 hours from like the nearest airport, and there's like 2 that are sort of equal distance apart. El Paso is the one I'll be flying into, which is sort of the larger of the 2 airports, and we'll be trying to get a ride with someone, fly in, drive down, spend 3 days there, I think.
Tell us the whole flight path, please.
So before that, I'll be in San Diego. So I'll be visiting my sister.
Visiting the old sis.
Yeah. So from there, it's actually not too bad. It's direct. There's a direct flight from San Diego to El Paso. And then a drive. And then I go back from from Marfa to El Paso. I fly to Austin, spend 1 night there, and then fly from there to Boston to go visit you in Providence. And then a few days later, I'll fly out of Boston to come back to Dubai. I haven't booked that flight yet. But yeah, I have like 9 flights in the next 3.5 weeks.
It's a lot of fun. You gonna get some reading done on these flights or what? What's your plan for these flights?
Reading and writing are usually the 2 big ones. And watching the TV show.
Are those the big ones for your plans, and then it goes right? Because I always have grand ambitions of being quite productive, and then it ends up just being I'm re-listening to the long shot and playing chess against the computer or some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, there's what I plan to do and what will actually happen. But I have grand plans for reading a lot and writing a lot.
I was just thinking though, like you get Stellaris on your laptop though.
I have it on my laptop. I only have a laptop.
Perfect. Same.
It's not one of those games that you need to be like. In the past,
offline.
I've tried to play Dota and other, it just does not work at all. You can get internet on flights, but it still doesn't work. But this is going to be very bad for my productivity.
Make sure you download like tutorials or something.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
So complicated.
It's such a complex game.
I got XCOM 2 as well, by the way. Now that we're back onto the video game thing.
Yeah.
I also bought XCOM 2 from this strategy thing. I've heard very good things about that. I did not. But I think it was... it's newer and they both got good reviews, and I think the discount was a little bigger on XCOM 2, so I got that one.
Yeah, I got them I went through this massive video game phase, I think around the time of Civ, and XCOM was one of the ones. I can't remember if I got 1 or 2, but I played it quite a bit, and it was very fun. But I don't know, like I don't love those tactical games as much as
something.
you. Not too tough. It's just
you
I don't know.
Couldn't quite hang.
That's not true. Maybe it is. I don't know. But there was another one.
Yeah,
what was that like? That tactical strategy game that was like war-based.
Valkyria Chronicles.
That's the one. That's another one I got that I
quite like that.
Played a bit but didn't finish.
I beat 2 of those. Can't remember the numbers, but I beat like the one and then the other one.
Yeah.
I think there's like 4 or 5 games in the series though, so it's not like I beat the 2 games in the series.
Yeah. How good are games?
I love them so fucking much. Poker right now though, not at such a huge fan.
It's a good game. It's just
it is a
lot
good
of variance.
Game. Yeah. And when you like want to win or need to win, it's like annoying when that doesn't happen.
Yeah. But sounds like you're in a good
you lose a game of Dota and it's like it doesn't matter. But you lose a game of poker, it's like I have less money than I used to have.
Yeah. There's not many jobs or like even games that you go and you just lose a bunch of money at. And you can play well and lose money. Do everything right and lose money.
Yeah. Well, but it's also nobody actually does everything right. It's too difficult of a game to actually do that.
Yeah. Do most things right.
Do more right than your opponents.
Yada, yada, yada,
yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada,
Then there's the whole thing where like we were raised playing 9 tables of, I don't know, what do you get?
Max.
70 hands an hour, 75
like
hands
that,
an hour or something per table. And now I'm playing 1 live table where I get maybe 25 hands an hour. It's like, it takes so long to get through an unlucky streak. As compared to online where it would literally be like this month I played about 50 hours or something like that. And I played the equivalent in hands to an hour and a half, 2 hours of my former online grinding. And it's like the amount of like emotions and ups and downs I feel like I felt over the course of the month and realizing that was just so compressed. That was 1/2 of one session back when I was grinding 9 tables of 6 max. It is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. Your edge would presumably be much larger in a live setting than, I don't know, online against a bunch of pros.
Sort of. It's tough because the rake is a lot worse. And the rake is sort of the biggest opponent of a poker player. And again, the other funny thing is like, you can sort of figure out what your edge is online because you can play 3 million hands or whatever and just look at what the numbers say. You can never figure it out live. You can just kind of guess.
Yeah.
You can look at your results and you can extrapolate, but it's very difficult to really know.
Yeah. Someone asked me yesterday if I miss playing poker and the lifestyle, and I'm like, I miss the lifestyle a little bit, and I mean, I miss a little bit of playing, but like the majority of it, like the grind of it and all of that is not something I miss.
I love it when I'm winning. It's like so awesome. It's the best fucking job. And then when I'm losing, it kind of sucks. And I feel like right now I'm like a little rusty or like freshly new back to it in a way where the losing sucks more than it used to, because it used to, you used to not care at all. Right, almost, because you had a kind of unbroken streak of many months in a row of like dealing with the ups and downs and having the confidence that things will be fine. Whereas now I have like a 6-year break since I was trying to do this really regularly. So I'm just trying to kind of get that muscle back.
That is kind of wild, 6 years. Are there any options to play online? Or you just
there's ones that I don't trust, basically, because, there's like real-time solvers and shit now,
Is there ever any fear that someone in person is cheating one way or another?
I don't think in the situation that I'm in right now, it's something that I realistically fear, but it's definitely something that we know to some degree happens. But I think right now I'm in a spot where that's not realistically an issue.
Fair.
I had it happen to me when I was in Montenegro.
Really? Do I know this story? What happened?
So me and a friend were just playing heads up, like kind of just passing the time, maybe trying to get a game going. And some random guy showed up with like a backpack full of money. We're like, this is pretty cool. And decided to make it 3-handed. But basically what we learned, we saw a potential thing and then learned confirmation later. He had a friend with him who was basically standing behind him I'm sorry, sitting behind me and the other guy, and trying to get looks at and then signal to him what to do, basically.
That's like one of the least sophisticated ways to try and cheat.
Right. But it was like such a comfortable setting where, and here the other thing is, like, if you're playing 9-handed, you're taking pretty good care when you look at your cards. Whereas if I'm sitting here, one of the other two opponents is there, and I can just pull up my cards like this and it's totally fine. Unless I have to be concerned about Joe Schmo on the rail here signaling to this guy over here.
Yeah. Poker is such a fun world. Like,
it really is.
Yeah.
And you play with such characters.
Oh my God. Look, when I was playing live in Brisbane, the people I played with were just, I would come back from every session with just a litany of stories and just laughing. There was one time I played, and I think like the majority of other people at the table had all been to jail. And I was like, what is this world that they're the friendliest people? Like, no one is like, you think that, you get all these ideas of like movie underground poker games that are shady, and not really much of that.
Right.
It's fine, friendly folk. Did you see that the cheating scandal between Magnus Carlsen and that other guy got quote unquote resolved?
So I have a lot of chess recommendations on my YouTube, and so I've seen like recommendations for things that mention that something has happened. And I think the best I've understood is that Hans is no longer banned from something. But I haven't really followed beyond that at all. I
like skimmed an article on it, and I think in it said Magnus has like agreed that he wasn't cheating or something like that, and
in order for the $100 million lawsuit to get dropped or something.
I guess so. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Even
though the guy is literally a confirmed cheater.
Yeah, he like admitted to cheating twice on, I think, chess.com and maybe some other tournament. Yeah.
But did he actually cheat in this live game? This specific is sort of the crux of the thing.
But I think like Magnus said he would play him again, which was, I think, a big part about it before, where he was like,
because shortly afterwards he had like just immediately resigned in a game against him.
Yeah.
Which was controversial.
Oh. There was a period over like a few months where it seemed like there were a bunch of cheating scandals. There was a poker one, there was a chess one, I think there might have been a golf one.
The Robbie Lou poker one? What's the golf one?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting golf mixed up with something else, but there was definitely at least one other one.
The Mike Postle one was a crazier, bigger poker one. I don't know if you followed that one at all.
I don't think so. What happened there?
I'm going to try and remember as well as I can. I think it was in Colorado. It was one of these, you know how like the televised like online cash games are kind of popular these days? So basically this casino, and again, I think it was Colorado, regularly ran one of these, and there was a guy in it, Mike Postle, who had results that were very good, but basically only in this game. And the people that were watching were saying some of these plays are too crazy.
I'm vaguely starting to remember this.
Yeah, and so I guess the theory was that somebody who worked there and had access to the whole cards was somehow communicating with him.
Yeah.
And then people were making allegations, and then he was suing, and there was it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the Robbie Lou one was like just a one single hand craziness that spiraled out of control.
It's crazy how much drama there has been in the poker world over the last 15 years. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of money in it. So it kind of makes sense that some people will take advantage and some people will get very upset when either that happens or they think that happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not even getting into like the confirmed super user stuff that we dealt with online.
Ultimate bet.
Absolute.
Ultimate bet? Yeah, absolute.
It was multiple, but yeah. Absolute and Ultimate were the two big ones.
So crazy.
That was crazy.
Yeah. But like, it would have been so easy to not get caught is the thing. Yeah. Like the Nate Chastain thing, like it's so easy to just do it in a way that you're not going to get caught, but greed gets a hold of you.
They just pushed the envelope a little bit too much. And that's sort of theoretically the same thing with this Mike Postle character, whether or not he actually cheated. But the reason that people got suspicious was that in addition to the crazy win rate, and again, the results not being something that he ever really replicated outside of this specific format, was he was just making like the craziest calls and the craziest laydowns.
He would call like 10 high. It
seems like there's no
right.
realistic reason that a person would ever strategically do that. Especially also when we saw like 30 hours ago on stream, he made a play where it's like, he doesn't seem like this type of player that like, you know, all the things lined up to where it goes. The most likely explanation seems to be to an outside observer that he knows what he has.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, and then this summer there was a pretty good theoretical cheating scandal with that Martin Cabral guy. I don't know if you followed that at all.
Did not.
So he's one of these high roller regulars. People hate him. So the people that play in him. He's like an annoying table talk guy, but also allegedly is doing like a lot of card marking and stuff. And so like he was doing stuff where somebody would have like their chips to the side of them. So basically like the person right next to him, right? I'm Martin Cabral. This person to my right is over here, and there's like a mound of chips in between us, their stack essentially. And then on the other side of their stack is their cards. He would do stuff like lean over very aggressively to stare at the top of the two guys' cards. And then like other times, because this was a televised final table that he also made, he would like, you would see him, he's about to fold a hand and like deeply bend it and push his fingers into it before then folding, as if he's trying to make a crease in it that he can do later. And then other times he would be all in, 4 seats away rather than right next to him. And he stands up, which according to the actual tournament director rules, you're not allowed to do, and like really stare over. And not at the because a lot of people will stare at players trying to get reads, trying to make them uncomfortable, that sort of thing. But he's staring at the tops of the cards that are sitting right there. And then so some people said some stuff, and then he was like, my lawyer has some stuff to say to you, and yada, yada. And I assume nothing will come of it.
Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. I miss poker. Like, just playing recreationally and not as like a grind profession every single day type thing. Like, I would love to one day a week go to a fun home game, hang out, play some cards. That
so
seems
listen
fun
to this,
me.
right? You're coming to visit very soon.
You said there's PLO. You said there's PLO coming up.
Thursday, they're starting PLO.
I mean,
that's what we're told. The very first PLO game will be this Thursday. And they've been trying very hard to figure out like what stakes they should run, because they don't want to blow up the no limit games, and they don't want to make any of the like regs lose all their money too quick, because they're aware that it plays bigger than Hold'em, but they're not sure.
You know what they're kind of thinking?
And
well, stakes.
I think they're talking about a 2-2 game.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's like,
because I think they want it to be like the 2-5, but they're like a little apprehensive about just jumping right into 2-5.
Yeah.
So I think I heard them talking about 2-2.
I mean, it'd still be fun. So
yeah, no, it'll definitely
I'm down
be
to
fun.
play some live PLO in a month.
It's funny because there's not enough dealers for just the Hold'em games that want to be run. So a lot of the people are like, why are they adding new games when they don't have enough staff to deal with the current games? Which is a pretty fair question.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've been training the staff. They got approval from the state, so they're going to start running it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not good at it, but I assume that almost everybody there is also not good at it. So I'm probably going to play some.
Yeah.
I guess see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
I
also
literally
not good
have
after
no idea though. You're going to be better than these people, I assume.
That is, I have no doubt about that. But like, I wouldn't say I'm good at PLO anymore.
No, I'm not sure that I would say you ever were, but you certainly are not good now.
Okay.
But
I'm curious about, this is now a poker podcast, but I'm curious about like the legality of this. Is this like a casino? Because like for the longest time, they didn't have like a casino near you where you could play, or like a card room, right? Or how is this a thing? You'd have to go to like, what was it? Foxwoods or something?
Foxwoods in Connecticut, which is like a little over an hour away. Pretty big pain. No, this is a casino that's been near me for a while and had poker there for a while. It's just that for COVID, they shut down for a super long time. And then what happened, I actually learned about this the other day. So they only reopened this February or March, which is like a very long time to be shut down. But I guess what happened was the dealers were in a union, but because they couldn't actually be dealing during the COVID shutdown, they weren't paying their union dues. So then they couldn't quite reopen because they weren't up to date on their union dues. It had something to do with that. It is at least what I had heard the other day. But yeah, they're back open, and so now I'm sort of back playing again.
It was not as interesting as I was thinking it was going to be, but
I'm
there you go.
sorry.
Let's
But
get
the
back to
long
your
and short of it
nails.
is they were closed for a long time. My nails are looking good. They're nice and short now. I always
yeah.
find that your nails are a little long, to be honest, Roy. What do you
They
think
are
about that?
long, longer than they should be, but like now they're good. I don't know if you can see them. Kind of blurry.
No, you got to pull back, I think, to get the camera to actually...
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Well, that doesn't look too bad. No, they're
Yeah.
usually longer than that. Oh my God, those look good. Did you get manicured recently or something?
No, I have excellent fingernails and terrible toenails.
And gross toenails. Yeah, I remember your toenails being gross, which is why I was impressed by how nice those look.
Yeah, no, my fingernails are great. My toenails are just abysmal, and I don't know why. Yeah,
That is weird. Now I'm using the little Emery report on the thing to file my nails.
This podcast has gone downhill.
It's not going up or downhill, but it's certainly something is happening to it. Should we start heading towards a wrap up? We actually, by the way, we were like 13 minutes into this, and I was like, I feel like we've run out of steam, but we got a little bit of momentum recently, and now here we are, 43 minutes in.
Let's do it. Let's play a game and give out some NFTs and wrap it up.
All right, I have a word already for what am I thinking?
I have one as well.
3, 2, 1. Sneaker. Pipe and sneaker. Pipe and sneaker.
Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Foot and mouth disease. Foot and mouth disease and skateboard. Foot and mouth disease and skateboard. Okay.
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Road
Athlete's
rash.
foot.
Athlete's foot and road rash. Athlete's foot and road rash. Okay.
Sure.
3, 2, 1.
Fungal infection.
Skin and fungal infection. Okay, I'm ready.
I don't have one yet. Sure.
3, 2, 1. Dermatologist. Ointment and dermatologist. Ointment and dermatologist. Okay.
Okay, I got one.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Pharmacist. We already did skin. You can't do that.
Did we do skin?
I think so.
I don't think we
maybe.
did skin. Anyway, skin and pharmacist. Let's go with that.
Skin and pharmacist.
You know, it'd be great. Ointment.
Yeah, it would.
Or dermatologist. Skin and pharmacist. Sure.
3, 2, 1. Medication.
Drugs. I was going to say medicine, but
Medication
like...
and drugs is so fucking close. Should we just count that?
No.
Well, I guess we can't because it's not the same word, but it literally...
No. If I said medicine and you said medication, then I would be like, yeah, okay, we can count that. But
medication
drugs and medication.
drugs?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I got one.
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Active
Doctor.
ingredient. Okay. We're gonna lose. Active ingredient and doctor. I feel like I want to say another one of these words that we've already done. I think.
I got a new one.
Doctor. Have we done prescription yet?
What I was gonna say.
Okay, but if we haven't done it, we can just count that, right?
I don't think that counts.
Okay, well, pretend I didn't say that, and let's just do it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Prescription.
Fidget spinner.
You fucking asshole. Fidget spinner and prescription. Actually, I got one.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Adderall.
ADHD.
Oh, so close. So close. I can still do this, though. Ready?
No, I don't have one yet.
You're not old enough to remember the other one, maybe.
Maybe I am not. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Ritalin.
Box.
Box and Ritalin. What the hell does box have to do with that?
Oh, I had no idea what to say. I was like, I'm not going to pick the same drug as you. I thought about, should I just pick like paracetamol? No, let me just pick something generic. Box and Ritalin.
Jesus Christ. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Transmogrifier. What did you say?
I said human. You said
Human and
transmogrifier.
Yeah, which is what Calvin made with a cardboard box in the Calvin and Hobbes that could turn him into a little tiger.
Okay.
Ready?
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Tiger. Okay. Okay, now I think we got something, though. Ready?
Sure.
3, 2, 1. Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes. Good enough.
What do you mean Calvin and Hobbes? Okay, good
Well, I
enough.
thought comic, right? The comic is called Calvin and Hobbes.
I suppose so, but we were looking for the tiger.
That was a terrible. We get like a 1 out of 10 for winning that one.
Yeah. All right. So the password will be Hobbes. Hobbes.
Yeah. And
There's
we'll
an
give the
E there.
winners
Don't
some,
forget the E.
Tezos NFTs.
Correct. This has been episode 84.
We might be a couple weeks, I think,
burn your
before
Zen
we
chest
record.
and get your denizens, right?
Get your denizen, change your PFP to a denizen, come hang out in the Discord, all that good stuff. Donate
Can
blood.
you fucking fix that for me, by the way? Roy, by the way, listeners, Roy kicked me out of the Discord.
did not.
I was
You
approved. I had my wallet, it had the things, I had the approval, I had access to all the fucking channels, and now all of a sudden I'm just like,
All you do
I'm
is
like
you
an
click the
observer.
verify button, and you should be back in.
Well, why should I have to do that? I already verified.
Because sometimes technology does weird things, and
All right,
yada,
so
yada,
hold
yada.
on. Let's do this on air. Where do I verify NFT?
Verify
Instructions on
NFT.
how to do it. Once you click settings and set OpenSea, I ask you to please ensure this is the only server. Oh, see, but now it looks like I need to have.
If you've done this
Discord on my
before, then it should
computer.
automatically do it, though.
Okay.
So
It's doing it. Oh, this is working out all right. This wasn't so hard. I can get back to the Two Bored Apes channel, see what our fans are saying.
Well, there you
They've
go.
probably been missing me. Oh, shit. Nice. Oh, crap. Look at these.
The
Okay.
magic of
This has been
NFT
an
verification.
episode, do good things, donate blood, don't litter. I don't
Drink
like when
water.
people litter. You ever drive behind somebody and they throw something out the car window? Like, what the fuck is your problem?
I think that's happened like once in my life, which is nice.
I've seen
It's
it
not
too many
a
times and I don't
common
care for it.
occurrence.
Now,
Why
again,
do people do that?
right, but if it's a banana peel and there's a forest on the side of the road, I'm okay with that. But don't throw your fucking cigarette butt on the road or some shit like that. Fuck you. All right,
Yeah.
this has been the episode. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.